Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. I know it's Saturday, but hey, the stories keep on coming. We have got some things we got to talk about. But again, I do appreciate every single last one of y'all for being here because I know you guys could be spending that time with anybody else, and you're spending it with me. And that really does mean a whole lot. Now, the thing is we have been covering this particular case as of this morning. You guys have asked a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions as well, not only just over the case of Rebekah Byler and her tragic loss and, of course, her unborn baby, but, of course, we're still have questions about Shawn Cranston, this alleged suspect that was recently arrested. We're wondering why this whole thing went down. What was the motive? And, of course, we want to know how the heck did this guy get caught? How did 5-0 do what they did, right? We got a lot of questions and many, many more things, but we do have somebody that's going to be sharing some information and, of course, just shedding some light on the community, the Amish community itself. We do have a friend calling in just a minute here. So we got to get straight into this conversation, okay? We got to get straight into the meat and potatoes. So do me a favor, guys, okay? Do me this solid. Hit that like button down below. That would really mean a lot. I know it's Saturday night, okay, and you're feeling right, but at the same time, we need to get justice and we need clarity, okay? A mistaken identity? What is this all about? We're about to find out here in just a minute. So hit that like button down below. If you're watching on Facebook, please be sure to crush that crush that reaction button down below. Okay. Also, if you're on Facebook, crush that follow button on my Facebook page. Crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family. You can join Patreon as well. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And you can go and check out my clothing line, PascalMerch.com. I'm sure there's something over there that you will really, truly enjoy and appreciate. And your family will love having that stuff wrapped all over their bodies. Okay, guys? So please go check that stuff out. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. All right. I stopped everything in my day to be here to have this conversation with you guys and cover a few things. But first, before we bring our guest onto the show, all right, I do want to share with you guys this piece of information. This was recently dropped a few hours ago. And I think it's interesting enough for us. It's definitely interesting. It gives us a reason, could give us a little bit more insight on what was the reason this whole thing transpired. How did this tragedy transpire? So real quick, let's take a look at this news clip right here.
An Amish woman is murdered in her home. Her alleged killer is behind bars. Jennifer Mobilia was the first to report this murder. She joins us live in Corey. Jen.
Yeah, Brianna, a woman that claims to be the suspect's daughter spoke to me earlier today. She believes that this murder was a case of mistaken identity. Now, we do want to warn you that some of the new details we are learning tonight are very disturbing.
Now, before we continue here, I am quite curious about when they say it could be a case of mistaken identity. How? What? Huh? What's going on here? Okay. Very, very odd. Hopefully we get some more information in a little bit. Let's take a listen.
This is the man state police say killed 23-year-old Rebekah Byler. He's 52-year-old Shawn Cranston from Corey. He was arrested Friday night outside the Dollar General store right next to his home.
It was crazy. I've never seen so much law enforcement at once. Never once.
According to court paperwork, Cranston allegedly broke into Byler's home in Sparta Township Monday, shot her in the head, and slashed her throat. As you can see, crime scene tape still surrounds Cranston's home here in Corey on Main Street. I spoke with a woman who says Cranston was her foster dad growing up. That woman is in her 20s now and has children of her own, but says Cranston is the only father she has ever known. She was visibly upset and did not want to be on camera.
Like, I could never picture my dad being that cold and heartless of a monster. Never in a million years.
The morning of the murder, neighbors reported seeing a red Jeep in Byler's driveway. Friday night, a red Jeep was towed from Cranston's home.
As far as I know, he just wanted his grandson back.
Cranston's daughter believes the murder was a case of mistaken identity. She says the Amish couple that lived in Byler's home a few years ago adopted his grandson.
Now, what's really interesting there, that's very, very odd, right, guys? I mean, obviously, we're hearing that it's not only just the wounds around her head and neck, it's also a GSW. All right. This man walked in and he had an agenda. He had a goal and he was very focused. And but it's still very odd to me. I still don't understand what happened here. And now we are hearing that there was another family that lived in this house beforehand. And then now, of course, they moved out, and it basically, it's a matter of the wrong place at the wrong time. Again, it's very odd. Family members are, of course, speaking out and have been shook. Understandably, they're very, very shook. But yeah, I still have so many questions about this. Now, with us, we do have a friend. Okay, this individual is going to be remaining anonymous. All right, but they are a member of the Amish community. So he is right now live with us right now on the phone. So please welcome our friend. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. First off, I want to say thank you so much for coming in and reaching out, first off. Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Because I know this could be, this is a sticky situation, especially even for yourself. Can you let us know a little bit about you and your background?
Okay, I'm Amish, and I'm like you guys all. We was really curious when we first heard this, and it wasn't long. It was like barely, I think, about 2 days in, and the news started spreading what all the real thing was behind this, the alternative what was behind this, and it was all about the wrong person was at the wrong place, the wrong time, which was the wrong family. They thought he thought it was the other family that was there, and he had a mistake in there.
Now, what's really odd to me, I mean, I don't understand, and maybe you've heard things through the grapevine, because obviously this is kind of the vibe I'm getting right now, that this is kind of things that you've heard through people in the community and whatnot. But what would make somebody be this motivated to go blindly to a house and just attack in this type of fashion? Was there any animosity? I mean, obviously, this man is a hothead. We've seen it in his posts on Facebook. He clearly has expressed that he's not one to be messed with. But what is it that do we know anything about the history of between this grandson and this family that moved out?
Well, we heard they adopted him and adopted her or him, and he did not like this, and so he was like always upset at this family, and he threatened them several times before about this, and about he did not like this, and it went so far as they moved out, and another family moved in, and he did not know this, so he just was on a rampage, mad way it sounded. He just broke in there and started going and doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yes, revenge.
So if I just so I can understand this a little bit, okay? This individual, this guy, this Shawn Cranston, just breaks into this house, blindly just goes after poor Rebekah, pregnant Rebekah, takes her life and leaves. Did he even know who he was attacking? Did he know that the people you see what I'm saying? Did he know the identity of the family that previously lived there that actually adopted his grandson? or granddaughter?
He did know that family that adopted, but he did not know this family that he went in there and killed Rebekah. He did not know Rebekah. He just was on a rampage. I'm sure his temper was way out of control.
So he just didn't care. In other words, he just wanted to see
No.
red. He just wanted to see red. He wanted to cause havoc, and she just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, in the wrong house as well.
Yes. Yes, correct.
That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. Now, I guess, do you have any insight on how they were able to trace everything back to this guy?
It was through the family, and it was through the community. They heard that before, that this was going on with the family that was living there before. And then that's where it probably did not take very long after that.
Gotcha.
I'm sure they already knew by Tuesday or Wednesday. They already probably had him already taken care of.
He was already zeroed in at that time. So you're saying that the family the community knew about him in the past because of just rumors and stories being told within the community, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. I don't know if the whole community would know that.
Right.
Not like, it's probably family. More, and family and friends. So it could probably be part of the community, but probably not all the community.
Wow. So then let me ask you this then, is if they knew about this guy, if the family knew about this guy, has he shown up to this house before, or was that the first and only time he's ever been at this house?
That question I could not answer there. He must have not been a real serious threat right then, and we more or less like try to talk him, like, to make friendship or make peace. We usually try to talk it out, and very likely they could not do nothing with this, and so the couple moved out, and then this other couple moved in. But
Okay.
I do not know where the other couple moved to, and either I do not know that.
Right. And I hope that we would just not know, at least at this moment right now, given how sensitive everything is, right?
Yeah.
So really quick, it's a little bit of a left turn because with this, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that this man was so enraged, he just wanted to attack. It seems like he just had animosity, anger towards someone who happens to be Amish, and he just didn't care because it was inside that house that represents the family that took his grandchild away from him. I guess that's how I'm breaking it down. But one thing I'm curious about, talking about the community itself, how's the community taking this information and all this news right now?
Well, it saddens everybody. It really does. It's far away like that, but it's still part of our culture, and we all have feelings for the family, especially the two little children. And the husband that's left. I mean, that is like really, really hard to be in a shape and form of we could not explain what he is really going through in the kids, the children.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine that. So then let me ask you this then too. Do we know any of the origin story of how this family, this family, this Amish family was able to adopt his grandchild? I'm a little bit confused about that. Do we know any information about that? How does that happen? Because he's obviously from the outside world. So how did his grandson ever cross paths with this Amish family that's moved away already?
Well, we have Amish families that can't have children sometimes, and so they love children.
Mm-hmm.
So they do go to an adoption agency, and they do spend a lot of time trying to adopt, and they do give them a child. And I mean, they can't go pick, but they do give them a child, and very likely they ended up with this child.
That's interesting. And that's very interesting. You'd think that those kind of things would be, I don't know. I feel like that would be wouldn't that be somewhat classified information unless Or maybe not. I don't know. But it just seems a bit odd that he would know exactly what family is adopting his grandchild. And of course, he was super hyper focused on trying to take that family down. Right. So that is a bit
Yes.
interesting and odd. Now, there's a couple of things I do want to ask you. Okay. In regards to the Amish community, Amish way of life, culture, etc. Now, you're on a phone with me right now. I'm assuming you're on a cell phone with me right now. Um, is it true that certain communities, certain Amish communities, are allowed to have certain types of technologies like cell phones and some are not?
Yes, that is correct.
So each community is a little bit different. They're not all this, not all very cookie cutter, if you will.
No, not they aren't all the same. It's no different in like um, what would you say in the Protestants or the Catholics or whatever culture or the religion. There's always different groups, and they think just a little bit different. Some are a little bit more liberal, some are a little more strict, but it all bases on the same thing. That we all shoot to get to heaven,
Right.
and but we try to keep down as far as we can of like the technology, so it doesn't get too overtaken by the children.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, hmm. So as far as what other kinds of this sounds a little bit strange. So just understand I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. And if I sound ignorant, I'm sorry. The Amish culture is very, very new to me. Okay. But when it comes to other types of technology like internet, social media, etc., are certain communities more lenient on those things? Or is it just like you only get a certain amount and it gets cut off? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, yes, no. Each community, like I said, is like um, they. Some of them, like our community where we're at, we can have more technology. Like my one son is an architect, and he has the software to draw
Right.
blueprints, and so we do go into a few things like that, and but we don't want to like misuse the technology. That's what our ministers always stress in our church is don't misuse it, and so that's why they go along with it a little bit more. But then some of them are a little more strict. I don't know how that community is where Rebekah was from. I
Right.
did not know that.
No, I do understand that. So okay, that does make a little bit more sense. Because I do know and I do understand that there's a lot of communities that are not very integrated with the surrounding communities that they are in. Is that all Amish communities, or is it just the select few that are like that?
Well, see, certain like some families, like most of our children all go to the parochial schools, but then we also have a chance, if we want to go to the public schools. And so we did go to the public school. My dad and mom sent our family, my brothers and sisters, all to the public school. So we were with the outside kids,
Mhm.
but so we are, used to the outside world. So, and we have our different things.
Oh, okay. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because I know that there are a lot of a lot of people that leave or maybe enter and become part of the community, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it is interesting to see how things operate and how things are different in each place, right? The culture might be a little bit more strict in one place, the rules and the way of living might be more strict in one place, where it might be a little bit more lenient somewhere else. And with where we are as far as this situation, we have this unbelievable, unthinkable murder that just recently happened to this young woman, all because of somebody who's enraged. And I guess it's just interesting
Correct.
that he would not know that those people had moved to a different place or have moved on. Now that makes sense on why the family that the outside family and friends, etc., are trying to do a GoFundMe because they're trying to help raise money for the Byler family to move to another home, because it seems like that house, I mean, obviously it's a representation of this tragedy, but it seems like that home obviously holds a lot of darkness, a lot of tension, if that makes any sense. So it does make sense why now I get it, why they would want to move. Now, when it comes to back to this case, Shawn Cranston, you say that his name has been brought up in the past. Was his family members, maybe his wife, etc., were they ever brought up in conversation as well, or was it just about Shawn Cranston when it comes to this case?
Just him alone.
Wow.
But I do have one question that I would like to ask some of my friends down in that area that it will probably never get answered. And it is that he maybe went there to find out where this couple moved to, if he did see it was the wrong people, but we will never know that. And
Right.
if he did, and she would say, I do not want to answer this, maybe, and he's a hothead, and maybe he just like took it all out on her right there. That's one thing it could be also that could have happened.
Wow. Yeah. I'm curious about that too. If he just drove up there, that's a very good question. Did he drive up there with the motive of taking someone's life, or did he drive up there just to see, just to lurk, or maybe to just
Right.
intimidate them and say, "Give me my grandchild back"? God only knows. But wow, what a unfortunate and wild turn of events, all because of adoptions and because of a case of mistaken identity. It's still very odd to me. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it, to be completely honest. But my friend, I want to say thank you so much for calling in. I really do appreciate it. I know it takes a lot for you to call in and give us this information. I really do appreciate it. And, of course, we're all praying for the family, for justice, for the family and clarity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you reaching out. It means a lot.
Sure. Okay, and then you just give me a call whenever and stop by whenever.
I will. You stay blessed, all right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. It's I appreciate the phone call. Okay. Shout out to our friend for giving us some information. And it's pretty wild to think that with this particular case, this is just somebody who was hell bent on just trying to wreak havoc. He just wanted to bring hell to somebody in the Amish community. And it's terrible that house was previously owned by the family that actually adopted his grandchild. And instead of him, I don't know, maybe turning the car around and getting his butt back home, which is what he should have done in the first place, he said, forget it. And he decided to go right into that house, break into that home, and do something very, very unthinkable. Literally, my mind is blown. Regardless if this was a case of mistaken identity, or if this was a full-on targeted attack, it doesn't matter. What happened here is absolutely tragic. What happened here is absolutely mind-blowing, whether this was in Amish country or not. So I'm hoping that the family, the Byler family, gets the justice that they rightfully deserve. And I'm hoping that the community, the Amish community, gets some time to heal, because this is a scary time. This is a scary moment. Somebody just busts right through their front door and does the unthinkable. I will also say, thank God for people talking and speaking. You know, that's one piece. That's one thing that will never die. Conversation, stories, and people talking. Without that, I don't think they would have been able to zero in on Shawn Cranston as quickly as they did. But given the fact that he has already stirred the pot before in the past with the previous family that lived in that house, it does explain a lot. They were able to reverse math that and find this guy. I'm just hoping that whatever he did, he operated and did all of this alone. That's what I'm really hoping for. Because God only knows, guys. God only knows. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Like I said, it was going to be a short one, but I do appreciate the phone call from our friend. Okay? Hopefully you guys learned a little bit. For those of y'all who are new to the Amish culture like myself, okay? Real talk. I appreciate him calling in and giving us the information and letting us know what the community is saying. And the community is talking. Trust and believe. That community is most definitely talking. Okay? So, real quick. Oh, I forgot to do this. Let me do that really quick. Pretty Kitty, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. I really do appreciate it. We got many, many stories, many, many conversations to have, many, many stories and miles to go before we sleep. All right. I'll keep an eye on this story. If there's more updates on this, trust and believe we will be talking about it. Okay. But I wanted to give you guys that one really quick because I think that was really important. But they got the monster. That monster's locked up, and I hopefully they throw away that doggone key. Please don't forget to hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Crush it. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook. Hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. Okay, hit that follow button on my Facebook page. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. Hit that join button. Become a member. Please check out my Patreon. It's in the ticker going that way right now as we speak. I really appreciate it. Support if you can. Subscribe if you can. Check out my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go check that out. Subscribe over there as well, please, and thank you. And I told you guys it'd be a short one, okay? Because I know it's Saturday night. I know you guys got things to do, and you got families and loved ones you want to go spend time with. So go. Enjoy your night. Have a great one. And I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Also, make it a safe one. Please. Okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.